This week, Soccer X also caught up with Nottingham entrepreneur and Eastwood chairman Rob Young.
We're happy, and Paul has got the flexibility to sign whoever he wants. I mean, he can't just go out and sign everyone, because in reality players won't drop down to the Unibond Premier. You know, you can't get a player who wants £2,000 a week to come and play in the Unibond Premier that's worth £2,000 a week. So there is a cap to how much Paul will pay for a player, because it's by the person that will drop down to play for us. But we won't make any increases to his budget. He increases in that. He does a very good job of increasing that himself each week.
I like it. You targeted the Blue Square Premier, Rob, with the club playing wise. If you do make the Blue Square North next season, when you go full time, as I believe several clubs already do that, don't they? The Tamworths and whatever. Is that a consideration, or?
Well, they call it full time, don't they? But in reality, you know, most of the clubs that say they're full time actually means they train maybe three times during the week in the daytime, and most footballers have got jobs where they can be flexible around. So, you know, I call a full-time football club like Nottingham Forest. For example, you know, I believe Burton Albion, you know, they train 3 times a week, but they train the day, which suits people's shifts. At Eastwood, we might look at doing more work and more training in the days at some point. Maybe we will go to the Burton Albion model. But you know, we could never justify going to having players in 5-6 days a week, and you know, make at the end of the day they've got all the jobs. But I think I like the Burton Albion model. I don't really like the model that we've currently got, because it doesn't give Paul and John the amount of time to spend with the players they like. But we'll review that at the end of the year. If we get promoted, and it is if at the moment, we want to make any sort of changes at that time, dependent on our position. Whether we want to go straight up next year will be a decision I'll have to speak to Paul about, because he may feel that he wants to consolidate for a year and feel out the division before going for the next push. But I'll speak to Paul. We've got a very strong squad. I'm sure our squad could at least compete for the playoffs in the Conference North already. So.
Do you think a lot of clubs look at Histon as the blueprint of, I remember in about 6 or 7 seasons, the progress they've made is rapid and terrific, really. And teams said at the time, about 6 years ago, they'll never have the support to justify that or back it. And they've done that, haven't they? And so that's encouraging for other clubs like yourselves. Do you agree with that?
It is. I think Forest Green was a fantastic example. You know, getting 1,000 a week now, and Histon getting 1,000 a week. People would like to go and watch football for a reasonable amount of money, and these clubs are supplying that. You know, obviously the bigger clubs, your Mansfield Towns, are still get 2,500 a week. Should be getting 5,000 a week. But yeah, it is possible to build a club up like a Forest Green, like a Histon.
And they've done it on sound finances. They've been sensible what they do, and they haven't thrown silly money at the job, have they, really? So again, they've done it the right way without signing star players, I don't think.
Well, I always question, how you can afford to pay a wage bill to win these divisions and not have anybody in the background to invest and then to sustain. So although you hear various clubs come out and say we've built this on sound foundations, I'm pretty almost sure there's somebody in the background, putting some money into the player wage bill. The manager will often say, I've got a medium-sized wage bill. How do you win the league by 20 points doing that? I mean, in reality, I don't think any football club is built on sound foundations, from all the way from Chelsea at the top down all the way down to the bottom. There's always someone having to put their hand in the pocket to pay the bills at the end of the week. And if there isn't, those clubs struggle. And I've never seen an example of a club that's been successful on the field in the short or medium or long term that's not had a benefactor of some sort. And I mean, the guy at Forest Green, I would suspect, he has, invested in what he loves, his football club, and I'd be very surprised if he just funded it from gate receipts.
But in terms of modest support, these clubs are small clubs. They come on the same route as yourself, so that's an inspiration, isn't it? You can follow it on that basis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Eastwood's a small club. If we can average 500 next year in the Conference North, I'll be over the moon. And then, if at some point we push the button and to go to the Conference Premier, you could then see us maybe creeping towards the 1,000 mark. But it's important to do what's right for the club, and if the fans want us, if the fans won't come, then there's no point in going into these higher leagues, because the club does need to be part funded
by the gate.
By the gate receipts. And when I first came to Eastwood couldn't even fund a Unibond Premier team by their gate receipts. Now the average is 480 this year. If I left Eastwood could survive in the Unibond Premier on that gate.
But doesn't that go back to my original point about momentum, and success breeds momentum, and it breeds people want to come and see successful teams. They want to come and see the best teams, don't they? They want to see good players.
People want to see good players. They want to see people win, and they want to enjoy the day. And I think the atmosphere is excellent at Eastwood, and it's an enjoyable day. To be honest with you, when I first came to Eastwood, it was a little bit flat. There wasn't much singing behind the goal. It wasn't really until after about 10 games into the season where the Coronation Park started to erupt, and we started to realise that we have got a good team, and we're not the poor relations anymore. And now you go to Eastwood, and I'd say it's definitely the noisiest ground in our division. And it's important that you build on that momentum, and you make an enjoyable day out for people and a good atmosphere. And at the end of the day, we'll have to see how Eastwood do this season, and I'll base my decisions on where we finish this season and what we're going to do next season, because nothing's guaranteed in football. Witten Albion were 12 points ahead at this point in time, and they didn't get promoted, and they're now at the bottom of our league. And we're still 5 points behind Hendersford. With Middlesbrough, we've got 3 games in hand and we're big favourites at the bookies, but anything can happen in football, can't it?
Wilson will have some say, won't they? I saw them give Kidderminster a really good game last week. They've got plenty of talent there, haven't they? So it's a tough feeder league. It's a tough one to get out of, isn't it? So
I'll be honest with you, I don't think Ilkeston will have a say in who wins the league. I hope that Ilkeston get in the playoffs. I'll go and watch Ilkeston myself. Some Eastwood fans won't be too happy about that, but I actually like Ilkeston as a club. I think it's a good setup, but I don't think, to be honest with you, they're going to have a say in who wins the championship or not. I don't think they're strong enough to do that.
Talking to a fan at the FC United game, he informed me the Wycombe match was the first game he'd attended since supporting Brian Clough's Forest side some 18 years ago. What's your message to similar floating supporters? Because they came along, they like what they see, so there's so many people, you want them there every week, don't you? I think. Yeah,
but if someone supports Forest, it's unrealistic that...
but he hadn't been, he quit, he got cynical with it, too expensive. And he said out of curiosity he came to see you in the FA Cup against Wycombe, so impressed. There he was the second week, and that's a nice story. And that's
we've got, where have our supporters come from? Our average last year was 255. Our average league this year is 480. That's 230 more people coming every week, and it'll be a different 230. Where have they come from? They seem to have come from Hucknall. Definitely some of the fans from Hucknall coming to watch us, and round about the local Eastwood area. We doubled our gates. The floating supporters are coming, and I think that people are enjoying it.
But the FA Cup has really raised your profile, isn't it? It's put you on the map, really.
It didn't raise a profile, but before the FA Cup, our gates were well up on last season. So I think I think before the FA Cup run even started against Wrexham, our average gate was 400. So people are coming on the basis of the superb job that Paul Cox and the players did last year when they reached the playoffs. If you include the cup runs, I've not even calculated what our average attendance is. But to be honest with you, I don't really get too stressed out about attendances. I'll give you an example. Attendance, the whole attendance revenue last season was 27,000 at Eastwood Town. Now,
that's transparency for you. I like that, Rob.
Well, that's the fact, the matter. I think to run the player and management wage bill and alone would have been 5 or 6 times that. So to give you that example, if an extra 20 people come a week, it doesn't make a big difference to the finances. But what it does, it makes a difference to the atmosphere, and it also makes a difference to the long-term sustainability of the club. If I get one over a bus tomorrow, we want the club to still be here.
Rob, can I wish you and Eastwood Town every success, and hope you get promotion. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time.